These days, if you're thinking about getting into mobile app development, there's a very high chance you'll choose Flutter. And honestly, that makes sense. Flutter is incredibly popular, loved by developers all around the world for its performance, flexibility, and strong community support. But here's the problem. Learning Flutter can feel confusing. You might buy a course, but there's no guarantee it's the right course for you. You might go to YouTube and find tons of videos and channels, but most of the time they only scratch the surface. And instead of clarity, you end up feeling more confused. That's where most beginners struggle, because learning Flutter is not just about learning topics, it's about learning them in the right order. If you randomly jump from one topic to another, Flutter will start to feel difficult, even overwhelming. No matter how you learn, whether it's a paid course or free content, what really matters is this: learning the right thing at the right time. So in this video, I'm going to give you a clear, structured pathway so you can follow along step by step without feeling lost. And before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I think you're really going to enjoy what's coming. All right, enough talking. Let's get started. Let's start with the most important step, Dart. If you want to learn Flutter, you have to start with Dart, especially if you've never worked with it before, because Dart is the core language behind Flutter. It's the only language you need to write your app's business logic, design your UI, and define your data models. So the better you understand Dart, the easier Flutter becomes. Simple as that. Now, like any modern programming language, Dart comes with a lot of features, different syntaxes, concepts, and even advanced capabilities. But here's the good news. You don't need to learn everything to get started with Flutter. You just need to learn the right things. And the best part? You don't even need to install anything in the beginning. Just go to dartpad.dev, open it in your browser, and start writing Dart code instantly. It's simple, fast, and perfect for practice. Now let's talk about what you should actually learn before jumping into Flutter. Start with the fundamentals: data types and variables, operators, loops, and conditional statements, null safety, which is very important in Dart. Then move into collections: list, map, and set. Next comes functions, and this is where things get really important. You should understand regular functions, lambda expressions, callback functions, and different types of parameters like required, positional, and optional, because in Flutter, callbacks are everywhere. And then comes the most important part of all: object-oriented programming. You need a solid understanding of classes and constructors, association and inheritance, method overriding and polymorphism, encapsulation and abstraction, interfaces and mixins. Why? Because once you step into Flutter, you'll see classes everywhere. Widgets are classes, screens are classes, everything is built using OOP. So if OOP is clear in your head, Flutter will start to make a lot more sense. After that, move on to asynchronous Dart. Things like future, stream, async, and await, and proper error handling. You might not see these right at the beginning in Flutter, but trust me, you'll run into them very soon. Once you're comfortable with these topics, you'll start feeling confident with Dart, and that confidence will carry over to Flutter. But don't just watch and move on. Practice, write small programs, experiment, break things, and fix them. That's how you actually learn. And whenever you need help or deeper understanding, visit the official Dart documentation at dart.dev. Once you've covered these essentials, you're ready to move forward and finally start your journey with Flutter. Once you're comfortable with Dart, the next step is to set up your development environment. To build Flutter apps, you'll need to install a few tools and SDKs on your computer. The good news? Flutter works on Windows, Mac OS, and even Linux. So if you have any one of these, you're good to go. Now, earlier we used Dartpad to write and run Dart code. That was perfect for learning, but now it's time to level up, because real Flutter development involves multiple files, project structures, debugging tools, and device emulators. And for that, you need a proper IDE, an integrated development environment. You can technically run small Flutter samples in Dartpad, but it's very limited. Sooner or later, you'll need to move to a full IDE for a better experience. The two most popular IDEs for Flutter development are Visual Studio Code and Android Studio. You can download them from code.visualstudio.com and developer.android.com. So which one should you choose? If your machine is not very powerful, go with VS Code. It's lightweight, fast, and extremely popular. You can add powerful extensions and customize it the way you like. On the other hand, Android Studio is heavier, but it comes with powerful built-in tools, especially for Android development, emulators, and advanced debugging. Now, here's a pro tip. A lot of developers actually use both, VS Code for writing code and Android Studio mainly for the emulator and advanced tools. Personally, I prefer Android Studio because it gives you almost everything you need in one place, but honestly, you can't go wrong with either. Also, just to be clear, both of these IDEs are completely free, so you can install and use them without any cost. Now comes the most important part, installing the Flutter SDK. This includes the Flutter framework and the Dart SDK as well. To install it properly, go to flutter.dev. The official website has step-by-step guides for every platform, and I highly recommend following those instructions because they're always up to date. There are two ways you can install Flutter. The first one is the manual method. You download the Flutter SDK, extract it, and set up your system path yourself. This gives you a better understanding of how things work behind the scenes. The second option is using VS Code. If you install the Flutter and Dart extensions, VS Code can guide you through the setup process and handle most of the configuration automatically. For beginners, this is usually the easier and faster option. Once everything's installed, don't forget to run Flutter Doctor. This command checks your system and tells you if anything's missing. Fix those issues, and you're ready to start building Flutter apps. Now you've got all your tools ready. It's time to step onto the battlefield. Flutter is a powerful and massive framework. Whether you want to build mobile apps, web apps, or even desktop applications, Flutter has everything you need. But the moment you step into it, you'll realize something very quickly. It feels like a puzzle, and if you don't follow the right order, it's very easy to get lost. So the question is, where do you actually start? What should you learn first, and what comes next? Now, based on your Dart knowledge, you should not jump into advanced topics like state management or network calls right away. That's one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. Instead, you need to build your foundation step by step, because if you try to learn everything randomly, Flutter will feel like an ocean, and you'll feel completely lost. So here's where you start. Widgets. You need to understand what widgets are, how they work, and most importantly, why they are everything in Flutter. Because in Flutter, everything is a widget. Start with the simplest ones: text, image, icon, then move into layout widgets like row, column, center, container, sized box, and after that, explore scrollable widgets like list view, grid view. Then comes the core app structure. Learn widgets like material app, scaffold, app bar, drawer. These are the building blocks of almost every Flutter app. At this stage, don't worry about logic or interaction. Just focus on UI building. Try creating simple designs like a profile page, a visiting card, a basic bio data layout, or a simple image gallery. Your app will be completely static at this point. No button clicks, no user input, no backend. Just UI. And that's exactly what you want right now. Keep practicing. Build small layouts again and again until you feel comfortable with how widgets behave and how layouts are structured. And here's a small but important tip. Whenever you create a new Flutter project, you'll see some default starter code. Honestly, don't start with that. Clear it out. Start from a clean slate, because that default counter app doesn't really teach you how real apps are structured. Once you're confident with widgets and layouts, then you're ready to move forward. And that's where Flutter really starts to get exciting. Once you spend some time building those single-page apps, and honestly, if you're starting to feel a little bored, that's actually a good sign, because now it's time to level up. Let's take your app from one screen to multiple screens. Start with something simple. Use Navigator and Material Page Route to move from one screen to another. For example, you can add a button that says Contact Us, and when the user taps it, it takes them to a new screen with contact details. Things like address, email, phone number, website, social links. Now, during this process, you're not just learning navigation. You're also learning how to work with buttons, user interactions, and event handling. Take it a step further. Try passing data between screens. Start with a single value, then try multiple values. Understand how data flows from one screen to another. And most importantly, learn how the navigation stack works. What happens when you push a screen? What happens when you pop back? What does push replacement actually do? These are small concepts, but they are used in almost every real app. Now, your goal here is simple. Turn your app from a single-page application into a multi-page application. Add more screens, move between them, pass data around, go forward, go backward, and really get comfortable with the flow. But remember, even at this stage, your app is still static. There's no real state change yet, no dynamic updates, no backend. And that's completely fine, because in the next step, we'll finally bring your app to life. By now, you should feel comfortable working with widgets, layouts, constraints, and basic navigation. Now it's time for a big shift, because so far, your app has been static. Now we're going to make it dynamic. Let's introduce one of the most important concepts in Flutter, state. Start with Stateful Widget. Learn how it works and how you can update your UI using the setState method. A great exercise here, bring back the default counter app, but don't just run it, rewrite it, modify it, improve it. Understand what's actually happening behind the scenes. Focus on this. How does a change in state affect the widget tree? What gets rebuilt and what doesn't? Because understanding this will help you write more efficient Flutter apps. You can also learn some simple optimization habits here, like avoiding unnecessary rebuilds and keeping your UI updates clean and controlled. Now, this is where things start to get fun. Try building small interactive apps, like a photo gallery with next and previous buttons, a tip calculator, a simple dice game, or even a basic photo editor using sliders, where you control things like color, opacity, or brightness. While working with state, start understanding some basic architectural ideas. Nothing too complex, just simple, practical concepts. For example, lifting state up. This means keeping your state in a higher level widget and passing it down to child widgets. And unidirectional data flow, where state flows down, events flow up. This pattern keeps your app clean, predictable, and easier to manage. Now, apart from setState, you can also explore a couple of lightweight alternatives, like Value Notifier and Value Listenable Builder. These are simple, efficient, and very useful in many real-world scenarios. Once you understand how state works, your apps will stop feeling static and start feeling alive. And from here, you're ready to move into more advanced patterns. Now, let's take your navigation skills to the next level. So far, you've been using Material Page Route to move between screens. Now it's time to try something different, named routing. Instead of defining routes everywhere in your code, you define all your routes in one central place, inside your Material app using the routes argument. You'll also learn how to set an initial route, navigate using route names instead of direct widget references, and pass data between screens in a slightly different way. Now, to be clear, named routing does have some limitations, and in modern Flutter development, it's not always the recommended approach for large-scale apps. But it's still very important to learn at this stage, because later on, you'll see this concept being used alongside more advanced solutions like GoRouter. And if you understand named routing first, those advanced tools will make a lot more sense. So here's what you should do. Go back to the apps you've already built and replace all your Material Page Route navigation with named routes. Try it out, break things, fix them, see how the flow changes. Because the goal here is not just to follow along, it's to actually understand how navigation works under the hood. And once you're comfortable with this, you're ready to move forward into more advanced Flutter concepts. Now we're stepping into one of the most important topics in Flutter, state management. And honestly, this is not just important for Flutter, it's crucial in any kind of software development. Now here's the thing, there are many different approaches to state management. Developers all over the world use different solutions. And trust me, there is no single perfect way to do it. The right approach always depends on your project, its size, its complexity, and your specific needs. But as a beginner, you should always start with something simple and practical. And technically, you've already done that. When you used stateful widget and set state, that was your first step into state management. Now, set state works perfectly fine for simple local state, things that belong to a single widget and don't need to be shared. But the moment your app grows and you need to share data between multiple widgets, set state starts to become messy, hard to manage, and difficult to scale. That's where you need a better approach. And for beginners, the best place to start is Provider. Add the Provider package to your project and learn how it works. Understand how it helps you manage shared state in a clean and organized way. Here's a great exercise. Go back to your previous projects and try replacing your set state logic with Provider. You'll notice something interesting. Many of your widgets no longer need to be stateful. They can become stateless because the state is now managed outside. And that's a big step forward. Now, take your time with this. Spend a few days practicing. Explore the Provider documentation. Try different patterns. Break things. Fix them. Experiment. Because once you truly understand the core concept of state management, learning other approaches becomes much easier. And yes, you will explore other approaches in the future. Maybe ReaverPod, maybe Block, maybe something else. Because just like I said earlier, there is no clear-cut rule. But once the concept clicks, everything else becomes much easier. Every real-world app needs data, and that data has to come from somewhere. Sometimes you store it locally, using a database on the device. Sometimes you store it in the cloud, which involves back-end systems, database design, and even cost. But what if you don't want to manage any of that? What if someone else already stores and manages the data and you just need to request it? That's where APIs come in. By making network calls, your app becomes dynamic, smart, and much more powerful without you having to manage a backend. Let's take a simple example. You want to build a weather app. Where will you get real-time weather data from? You won't store that yourself. Instead, you make an API request and the server sends you the data. Now at this stage, you need to learn how to make network requests, how to receive responses, and how to convert that data into something your app can use. In Flutter, packages like HTTP and DIO make this process much easier. As a beginner, I recommend starting with the HTTP package. It's simple, lightweight, and maintained by the core Dart team. Now here's your next project challenge. Build a weather app. You can use free APIs from websites like openweathermap.org. They provide real-time weather data that you can use in your app. Now, a typical weather app can include features like current weather data, weather forecast, temperature conversion, Celsius to Fahrenheit, and searching weather by city name. Now, here's the most important part. Don't treat this as just another project. Use everything you've learned so far. Use Provider for state management. Use named routing for navigation. Structure your code properly. Because when you finish this app, you won't just feel like you built something. You'll feel like a real Flutter developer. And trust me, people around you will start noticing the difference. So far, you've been fetching data from external APIs, which is great. But now, it's time to take the next step. What if you want to store and manage your own data? That's where databases come in. Let's start with local databases. These are databases that live directly on the user's device. And for Flutter, one of the most popular choices is SQLite. You can use it in Flutter with the SQFlite package. This allows you to create a relational database right inside your app. With SQLite, you can design your own database schema, write simple to complex queries, and persist data locally on the device. Local databases are perfect for caching network data, offline first apps, or apps where data doesn't need to be shared across users. Now, instead of just learning concepts, build projects. Here are some great ideas using SQLite: a personal expense tracker, a daily to-do app, a notes app, a password keeper, or even a business card holder. These projects will help you understand how real apps manage data. And just like before, don't forget to apply what you've already learned. Use Provider for state management. Now let's level up your code structure a bit. Start exploring basic architecture patterns like MVVM, model, view, view model. Separate your UI from your business logic. Keep your code clean and maintainable. You can also introduce concepts like service classes for handling logic, repositories for managing data sources, and one more important concept: dependency injection. This helps you decouple your code and makes your app much easier to test and scale. Now, I won't lie, this stage can feel a bit tricky, but it's also where you start thinking like a real software developer. Take your time here, practice, refactor your code, experiment with structure, because these concepts are not just important for Flutter, they're essential for any kind of software development. Now let's talk about something many beginners try to avoid: testing. Testing is a core part of software development. It ensures your app is stable, reliable, and consistent as it grows. But let's be honest, when you're just starting out, testing can feel overwhelming, sometimes confusing, sometimes even unnecessary. And that's exactly why many beginners skip it. But trust me, as you grow as a developer, you'll want your apps to grow without breaking things. And the only way to ensure that is through testing. Now, testing comes in different types. The three main ones you should focus on are unit testing, testing small pieces of logic, widget testing, testing your UI components, and integration testing, testing how everything works together. Don't try to master all of them at once. Start simple. Write small tests, understand how they work, then gradually apply testing to your existing projects. Maybe start by writing a simple function, then a widget, and slowly build up from there. The official Flutter documentation is a great place to learn this. It provides simple examples that are easy to follow. Also remember, testing is not the same for every project. The more complex your app becomes, the more testing you'll need. And no, you don't have to test 100% of your code. That's not realistic. But even adding a small amount of testing can save you hours of debugging later. Yes, it might feel time-consuming, maybe a little boring at times. But in the long run, it'll make your life as a developer much easier. Because good developers don't just build apps, they build apps that don't break. Now it's time to let you move on your own. By this point, you should be able to build decent Flutter apps. And more importantly, you should feel confident enough to take on challenges by yourself. But let me be clear, this is not the end. From here on, your learning path becomes wide open. Think of it like a multiverse. You can pick any topic, learn it, apply it, and grow from there. You've already covered the core fundamentals. Now it's time to level up. Here are a few important areas you can explore next. 1. Firebase. Firebase is a powerful platform by Google that gives you backend services out of the box. Things like authentication, cloud database, storage, push notifications, analytics, hosting. The best part? You don't have to set up a server yourself. Just plug it into your Flutter app and start using it. It even comes with a free tier, which is perfect for small to medium projects. And when your app grows, you can always upgrade. 2. Navigation with router. Earlier, you learned named routing. That was a great starting point. But for more advanced apps, you'll want to move to a proper routing system. I highly recommend learning GoRouter. It allows you to define routes more cleanly, supports deep linking, and works well with web features like the browser's forward and back buttons. 3. Riverpod. You already learned Provider. Now it's time to take it one step further. Meet Riverpod. It's a more powerful and flexible state management solution built on similar concepts. It offers better control, type safety, compile time safety, cleaner architecture. And since it's closely related to provider, transitioning from provider to Riverpod is actually very smooth. A great exercise? Take your old projects and refactor them using Riverpod. 4. UI, design, and animation. Now let's talk about something many developers overlook: design. Your app might work perfectly, but if it doesn't look good, users won't enjoy using it. Design is not just logic, it's creativity. Colors, spacing, typography, animations. And yes, most developers are not great designers at the beginning. That's completely normal. Take your time, experiment with themes, play with colors, add subtle animations where it makes sense. Over time, you'll start building apps that not only work well, but also feel great to use. So that's the roadmap. I've been teaching Flutter for years, and this is one of the most effective learning paths I've seen for beginners. If you follow it step by step, you won't just learn Flutter, you'll actually understand it. Also, I do have a full course on Udemy, Flutter and Dart Essentials. You can check out the curriculum, watch the preview lectures, and if you're interested, just drop a comment and I'll share a special instructor discount coupon with you. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and best of luck on your Flutter journey.